nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Listen up, gentlemen. You're fighting an unfair battle. Studies show testosterone levels in men have plummeted by 25% in just 2 decades. That's why you're struggling with energy, muscle, and drive. But here's a game changer. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments boost testosterone by 30% on average. Imagine reclaiming the vitality your grandfathers had. Picture turning heads, dominating your career, and feeling unstoppable again. Don't settle for today's normal. Seize the day at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
Visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If you go to the expo before the marathon, they got a ton of gear. They got t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and all of the things that say the name of the marathon or the name of the city and all of the things. You got unlimited designs.
Oh, no. Oh, I can't. I got that marathon runner coming in tonight.
What marathon runner?
You know, this guy, Jean-Paul. I met him when I was working at Pendant, editing a book on running.
But there is just one official marathon jacket. Every marathon puts one out. They change it year to year. And if you run the marathon, it's a nice little display of accomplishment.
Oh, wait, Jean-Paul. Isn't he the guy who overslept at the Olympics 4 years ago, missed the marathon?
The number of people I saw walking around the 27th mile wearing the official marathon jacket, who very clearly did not run the marathon, was irking me, man.
Yeah, that's him.
He's from Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yeah, he's Trinidadian and Tobagan.
How do you oversleep at the Olympics?
I know.
I mean, it's like the biggest event of your life. You'd think you'd have like 6 alarm clocks, paying off little kids in the village to come banging on your door.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
Well, we are not at full strength, but we're closer. Gabe. Welcome back to the show.
How's everybody doing?
Now, that was a very warm welcome for you. We are happy to have you back. Chew and I were really, we're what would you call it, Chew? It wasn't quite drowning, but it was like, close to drowning yesterday and the day before, because
we held down the fort.
We did, but, it's better when we're
a full team.
Multiple people. There are times where Chewy was like, what was that guy's name? And I'm like, I don't know. And Will doesn't talk, so that's a whole other thing. And then it was Christian McCaffrey, so I was real embarrassed because I was like, oh yeah, the white running back for the 49ers is Christian McCaffrey.
The highest paid running back in the league.
Gabe would have remembered that and recalled that immediately, and that's part of the reason why I'm so glad that you are back. It makes
what
for
are you
less
listed as, Gabe?
Uncomfortable
what
moments.
Are you?
Like what? Like percentage-wise?
No, probable, questionable.
I was definitely I was questionable coming into today. Like, I did not think. I honestly felt like I went to bed Wednesday night thinking I was going to do the show yesterday, and I woke up like in worse shape. So Yeah.
How does it rank after me as far as toughest?
I mean, let's be honest here, pal. I mean, you used to be tough. I don't know how tough you are.
No, let's just, it's Gen 2. Joshie's not 2. Joshie's, I think, 4 now.
Like
only because Gabe came back a day before him.
Yeah, that's the only reason, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it honestly comes down to, like, I was feeling probably well enough to do the show. It's just, like, nobody would want to hear whatever my voice sounded like.
Yeah, like Tausch that one time when he was like,
I feel fantastic.
I'm fine. What? Question. Why are you automatically the toughest? Because you played football like a million years ago?
No, I don't miss any days. I just grind.
That's just not
true.
true.
I'm a grinder.
That's not true. What are you doing later today?
Well, that's different.
Why is that different?
That's an equipment problem. I have to come off the field.
Ah, very good point, Gabe. Somebody, we're not saying names.
You also once poisoned yourself with a pizza.
Yeah, but that was on purpose.
Yeah, that's why I said you poisoned yourself with a pizza.
Yeah, and we knew that, just so you know. Like, there were no illusions that maybe you had accidentally consumed a pizza that made you sick, that made you miss the show. But you are going to miss the final quarter of the show this morning.
Yeah, but with good reason.
Tell everyone the reason.
I got to get an MRI.
On
my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels, you know how something just doesn't feel right? It's not that it hurts. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't, it just, is that in my head or is that actually the elbow?
Column A, column B.
But I mean, you said you tried to bench press with it and it just wasn't.
I know, but I just spread 11 yards of rocks, and there's raking, there's shoveling, there's lifting up the rocks, there's hauling the rocks. Didn't really have any problem.
Okay.
I love how you just described to us in detail what moving the rocks entails. When I drive somewhere, I don't say there's pressing the gas, there's doing the gear shifter, there's turning the turn signal. Like, we know what moving rocks entails, buddy.
No, I
You're
know,
just
but
trying
when
to
you're
make it seem more difficult than it is.
When you're driving a car, it's going, it's fine, but something feels a little alignment, not enough air in one tire, it's pulling to the left. It's fine, but something's there.
Well, now you're speaking my language, because I got the Tahoe back yesterday from the auto body shop.
Yeah.
Drove it downtown yesterday for the Marquette basketball show at Motor Bar and Restaurant. Couldn't go over 55.
What?
Absolute nightmare on the highway. I'm in the right lane, like, go around.
I mean, that's what the speed limit is on most of the highways, Jen.
You know what, Gabe? I know, it was the first time in the history of my life that I have gone the speed limit on 94 from Mequon to downtown. I said, I don't like it. But yes, I got to get the car back into the shop. It's not working. So I hear you. I know it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Yesterday, Gabe, you were obviously down and out, and yet we got dumped on. We had all of the snow the day before. So tell me about your snow adventures.
So I don't have a snowblower because everybody told me I needed a snowblower. We have a very long driveway.
And it's a stubborn off.
And there's like no place to go with the snow. But, I mean, we don't get enough snow. It doesn't make sense to go buy a snowblower. So I don't have one. So I knew I had to do shoveling and shifts when the snow started falling on Wednesday. So I went out after we got about the first 3 inches, did the first round, not a problem, but it kind of knocked me on my ass because I probably shouldn't have gone outside for the 45 minutes while I was sick to shovel. So my wife took pity on me, and she decides she's going to go out and shovel while it's still snowing after she gets home from work on Wednesday. Our neighbor takes pity on her, a gentleman across the street whom I have never met, comes over, sees her shoveling, and comes over with his snowblower and does our driveway and the rest that she hadn't already done, which was great. Thank you to this guy. And, so yesterday morning, there's still snow out there because it snowed still overnight on Wednesday. And I'm thinking, okay, I just got to work up the strength, and I'll go out there and do it. Well, right about 8:30, all of a sudden I just hear brrr, like going past my window as I'm sitting in my living room. This guy came over and just snow blowed.
I don't know.
What's the past tense of snow blow?
This is a mouse-mice dilemma.
It is a mouse-mice dilemma. We got to get Gabe's take on that, by the way. Snow blowed, snow blew. Wow. Neither one sounds great.
Yeah, I know. When you say it, like you think it sounds good, and then you say it, and it just doesn't. Anyway, so he came over and he snowblowed the rest of my driveway. I didn't want to go over and thank him yesterday because I was still sick, and I didn't want to, cough in this guy's face. Hey, thanks for doing this. Here's my illness. But now I got to do something for this guy. I literally know nothing about him. I've never seen him before. I know the house he lives in. And when I was texting with my wife while he was doing this yesterday, she's like, oh, his name's Bill. So I know that. I know his name is Bill, and I know the house he lives in across the street. But I got to do something for this guy now, right?
Yes. Now take a break, voice. Chew, what are some suggestions for things that Gabe could do for his neighbor whom he's never met to thank him for not once but twice snow blowing, I got around it there, snow blowing his driveway?
How many times did you do it, Gabe?
He did it twice.
12-pack of Spotted Cow.
Huh.
So
Very
6-pack
simple.
for each time?
Yeah. And if he doesn't drink beer or whatever, he can always regift it. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, but
what?
Gabe's very popular here in Milwaukee. What if he accidentally regifts it to somebody that Gabe knows?
That'd be sweet. That'd make for a hell of a story.
3 degrees of Gabe Neitzel. I think that you can't go wrong with, meat.
Okay.
You're partners with Bunzels, and you're always talking about the great stuff.
Vegan, you never know.
Tougher to regift a pack of steaks than it is a pack of beer.
Tougher to regift?
Yeah.
Because who's regifting steak?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you don't eat the steak, it's got a finite life.
Throw it in
beer,
the freezer, right?
The beer lasts longer.
I like the idea of giving meat or cheese or a gift basket. This is tricky because you don't know anything about this guy.
I
but
know two things.
He lives in Milwaukee.
Yes.
So ipso facto, anything Milwaukee related at least is sort of in the neighborhood, right?
Yes.
Now, do you want to see? I wouldn't want to give it to the guy, so I'm putting it on his front stoop because I don't want to meet people. So you have to take in consideration. Yeah.
Away? What are we doing?
You got to take into consideration that what you put out there, there's a chance it may freeze.
No, but I'm not going to do that, Chewy. I'm going to hand this to the gentleman.
Why would you want to do that? Who in the world needs a friend?
I just want to at least say thank you to him because he helped me out.
Put a bow on it and say thanks for clearing the driveway.
You know what
Very
tracks?
simple.
Remember earlier this week when 2 people, again, not 1, but 2 people, offered to help you move the rock, and you said no to both for a number of reasons. And if you missed those reasons, you could always find them on Wisconsin On Demand on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast. But essentially because you didn't want to owe anyone and you wouldn't get full credit for the task if you had help. So it tracks that you would not want to reward in person, right? Because you just said, who needs a friend, right?
Well, no, the reason with the rocks is I wouldn't want someone to ask me to do it, so I'm not going to ask someone else to do it.
But you didn't have to ask them to do it. They offered. Oh, my gosh, I'm not relitigating this.
I'm just saying. No, okay, put it on his front. You're too nice.
I have to say thank you to this guy, Chewy.
Yes.
Just a little card with a 12-pack of High Life isn't going to cut it. A face-to-face
thank you
interaction. Yes. But a face-to-face interaction is not the worst.
And the fact that you haven't met your neighbor yet, this gives you a good opportunity to actually have that introduction, which, as we have discussed before on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, you can go too long before introducing yourself. And then it's awkward because you're like, oh, we've lived across the street now for 3 years. And now I'm introducing myself?
Well, I'll tell you this.
This is what you need. This is the thing.
I'm 2 years here. I still haven't met the neighbor across the street.
By choice.
Yeah.
I have a question for Gabe.
Nothing.
If he didn't face-to-face ask you if you needed your driveway snow blowed.
That's what you're going with?
See, now everybody's hesitant to say that.
Do you have to face-to-face thank him?
Yeah, well, so he at least face-to-face with my wife. He came over the first time.
Okay.
The first time he came over and said, hey, I do you need help? And she said yes, and then he did it. The second time he just came over on his own accord. But still very helpful because he knew that I was ill.
It is a great question by Will, though. does a face-to-face equal a face-to-face, right? Like,
yeah, that's how I operate.
I
but
mean,
yes.
I guess in that, then I just send my wife over with the 12-pack, right? Since they're the ones who initially had the face-to-face.
No, you can't do that. That's a very bad look, Gabe.
No, can't do that one.
I mean, as the man of the house,
Yes.
I think you have to be forward-facing during this interaction. Lots of folks weighing in on our carbless talk and text line, 800-990-3776. I'm going to read off some of the suggestions. Maybe it percolates. Maybe it grabs on. Maybe you like one of them. Give him a nice bottle of bourbon. That from Justin in the 414. Give him a gas card. That from Scott in Manitowoc. And since he used his Snowblower... Again, navigating around it. You're kind of giving him gas, which he used to do the task. A 12-pack of fresh spring water. Go ahead, Chewy. Find a problem with that, says Ryan from Maguanago. You could give them an ESPN Milwaukee prize pack. That from Sam in the 262. Don also saying you should connect it with some of our loyal sponsors. A cousin's gift card goes a long way. That from Don in the 262. Some good old whiskey and soup. What a combo. Whiskey and soup? How do you feel about that, Chew? Because you famously have the Chardonnay and soup dilemma.
You got to pair the soup with a wine.
Well, you can't pair the soup with a whiskey?
It's a little too heavy. No?
The whiskey or the soup?
The whiskey. That doesn't sound like a good combination. Now, whiskey and a brat. Jen mentioned Bunzels, right?
So there we go. Now that's going back to the meat and, instead of a beer, get him a nice brown liquor.
Ben weighing in saying, how about chocolate chip cookies and some beer? Ooh, cookies is a good one. Everybody loves cookies.
Yeah.
That from Ben in the 920. And here's an interesting one that I think is open for conversation. Frankie, loyal listener in the 262, drop a 20 in his mailbox with a thank you note. I feel uncomfortable paying for neighborly services, right? There's something to be said for the exchange of cookies, meats, beers, soup, all of the other things that we have mentioned. Giving him a 20 feels like I have just changed the hierarchy. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I could be convinced otherwise. But yeah, it makes me uncomfortable. Giving my neighbor a 20 for something they've done to help me out makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, I did think at some point, like, okay, if I was feeling well enough yesterday, go over there, at least offer to pay. And clearly, if you're coming over, he's not going to take the money, right? If you're just coming over and snowblowing somebody's like driveway and sidewalk, chances are you're not going to go, oh yeah, they're expecting payment. But I do want to do something nice for this.
I do have one more
the
layer.
gift card.
Go ahead,
like gift cards.
Yeah,
good.
the gas
I like
gift
the gift card
is I think
the cousin's gift card.
Well, why not both? Grab a cousins, grab a gas. I think I like that. Here's another layer to this dilemma, Gabe. Andy reminds us that there's supposed to be more snow. We're supposed to get dumped on again today.
Correct.
He says, if I were you, I would wait till the weekend is over because he's probably coming over again after it snows again. Now, do you need to thank him prior to the dumping today in order to ensure that he does help you? And I'm not saying that you would do that where you're like, oh, we're going to need him to snow blow the driveway again. But is there something of like, you need to do it today before it snows again because he could be over there going, well, I did it twice and I got no thank you from the family across the street.
I don't need him to help because I'm feeling better now. Like I feel like it's going to snow overnight. So tomorrow morning I should be perfectly fine to be able to go out and shovel myself. So I should be fine there. I would like to potentially take care of this today, at least so I can go over, meet him and say thank you. So then at least if he's out snowblowing his sidewalk and driveway tomorrow, at least we can, now I know Bill. I can wave and say hi. So at least I can get that interaction.
God, too much Wisconsin nice here.
It sounds like there's some Florida nice happening down there. You're just rejecting it. Okay? It sounds like the niceness isn't just exclusive to Wisconsin.
Jen, you grew up or you lived in the East Coast.
Yeah.
How many years were you in Connecticut?
5.
There's clearly a difference between people for good, bad, or indifferent, whatever. There is a difference between people in the East Coast than there are Midwest.
Yeah, but you haven't lived in the East Coast in a long time. Hasn't any of the niceness rubbed off?
Oh, yeah, it has. Look, back in the day, I lived in a normal neighborhood for 18 years of my life. Never met 3 of the neighbors. The people across the street, the people to the left of us, and one to the right across the street. Never met them in 18 years.
And you're saying that if you lived in Wisconsin, that would be unusual.
Oh, yeah. That is super. I remember when I was living in Green Bay, and I don't know, I was on a radio show and mentioned that I was going out of town and had a dog at the time, which is shocking because my brother went in the Marine Corps and dropped his dog off with me. And I remember the neighbors never met him. They're like, hey, you want us to watch your dog? I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with my dog? Why do you got to watch the dog? So I was I hadn't transitioned. I didn't know anything about the Wisconsin nice. I'm like, what the hell you want to watch my dog for? I didn't realize people were so nice.
Yeah, you can't just leave your dog for a weekend.
When did you have a dog? Are we missing this?
Oh, this is probably 93.
Okay, at some point I want to get that story because now 2025 Chewy is very anti-dog. So at some point something happened. I got a lot of reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line. I will get to that reaction as the morning goes on. We got to get to Jason Wilde, talk a little Packers. And look, it is Valentine's Day. We're going to send some Valentines. We're going to send some Valentines to players out there that we want to come to Green Bay. We're going to woo them to Green Bay with our words and pink and red little decorative notes. That's next.
Jen did mention, hey, maybe I should stop by Bunzel's this week, grab some of the fresh homemade specials as a thank you to my neighbor for snowblowing my driveway. Right now, they've got hot Hungarian sausages, just $5.99 a pound. Stuffed chicken breast, $5.89 a pound. Center cut boneless pork roast, $4.99 a pound. And Bunzel's own twice-baked potatoes, $2.99 each. Stop by the deli when visiting Bunzel's, grab lunch or dinner. It's Bunzel's, 90th and Burleigh. You won't regret your visit. Find all the weekly specials at bunzels.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Still relatively light this morning. However, the sun is quite bright if you're heading east towards downtown Milwaukee on 94 or heading on 894 east. Just be mindful of that. Throw the visor down or put your sunglasses on. On 94 west at 70th Street, we've got a broken down semi on the ramp. It's pretty tight to the wall, but as you're making that curve, if you're heading on 94, you'll want to be aware of that. Also, still got broken down vehicles on 94 west at Highway 100, as well as 4145 south on the exit to Silver Spring Drive, and one on 94 South near Ryan Road. And checking the Storm Team forecast for today, a multi-round snowmaker impacting southeast Wisconsin this weekend. The first round set to arrive later this evening, anywhere between 2 to 4 inches. High of 27 today. Overnight, things will die down for a bit with a low down to 7. Then watch again tomorrow. Another round coming through, another extra 2 to 4, maybe 5 inches in some spots. By the time it's all said and done, could see anywhere between 4 to 10 inches of snow. High tomorrow around 32. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some...
Why are you throwing... I don't want...
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
Made by me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey guys, Josh DiMaggio here. Don't be like me and wait till the last minute. Valentine's Day is almost here. Impress that special someone with a handcrafted bouquet from Flowers for Dreams. Order a bouquet online at flowersfordreams.com or visit their Walker's Point location. Use code ESPN at checkout for 15% off your bouquet, or this year, try something new with tickets to their date night open studio workshop on Friday, February 14th. Every Valentine's bouquet benefits an amazing local Milwaukee charity. That's flowersfordreams.com, code ESPN.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Get it.
What, are you singing over there, buddy?
I'm trying.
Do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Dave from Aaron weighing in says, I listen to the show every day. Gabe, you might be able to pick up a brand new snowblower from Jason Wilde, as he famously has never used his after he purchased it. Jason, are you willing to part with your snowblower for Gabe?
Well, he's going to have to negotiate because I think Tausch is also interested in purchasing it. So, it's like Ferris Bueller, Cameron with the Ferrari. It's such a beautiful machine that I just wipe it down with a diaper every day, and I don't actually pull it out of the garage.
Why don't you ever use it, Jason? You rather shovel?
I have this like 4-foot wide shovel that allows me, if I go out multiple times, to get down to the nitty-gritty of the driveway. And I have this kind of OCD thing about the driveway, and every time I use a snowblower, it leaves remnants, so then I end up using the shovel anyway. So I'm not proud of it. It's embarrassing, and I'm glad we could bring it up again on another program.
So
You're just a grinder like me.
Okay, good grief. So Gabe's neighbor, who he has never met, Jason, gosh darn it. First of all, you're the wordsmith. Is it snow blowed or snow blue?
Sounds like snow blue.
Removed snow from his driveway.
There it is. See, you're going to do what I did, which is just try to navigate around it. Twice in the last 2 days, Gabe is trying to think of a suitable gift to say thank you. What would your suggestion be for what Gabe can do for his neighbor for the service?
Well, I guess I would start by introducing myself and thanking him in person. You don't know his name?
So I know his name because he came over. The first time he did it, my wife was out shoveling, Jason, because I've been out sick the last 2 days. So Z was out trying to shovel, and he came over. Yes, that's my wife's name. So he came over, took pity on her, and removed the snow that day. And then I was going to go yesterday and finish off the shoveling. And when I was feeling better, I was working up the strength, and he came over at like 8:30 in the morning and did it for us anyway. But that was the first time either of us had met him. And I texted Z about it, and she's like, oh, yeah, his name is Bill. So I know his name is Bill. That I know.
Let's start.
And I know the house he lives in.
And how would you rate Bill's snow removal skills?
Oh, A+. He was fantastic.
Okay. So you do clearly owe him. Like if he'd have half-heartedly done it,
yeah.
Then you're in a tougher spot. But because he A, rescued your wife from having to do it, and B, did it a second time, you're in pretty deep here.
Oh yeah.
Pardon the pun with the snow. So do you see an opportunity to return the favor, or are you going to have to instead go with like some sort of a snow-themed gift basket with like hot cocoa and maybe some sort of alcoholic beverage that people enjoy when it's cold outside?
Yeah, so
what are you thinking your options are?
So Chewy had mentioned, maybe getting him some alcohol, like a 12-pack of beer. Some people mentioned bourbon. The one I thought was the best idea, Jason, was a gas gift card. Because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about him, but everybody needs gas.
Right.
And he has a snowblower. Even if he didn't have an automobile,
Correct.
he has a need for the
Yeah, but you
petrol.
don't want him doing it every time, do you?
No.
That's the problem.
Well,
no, I do not.
Well, let me tell you
No.
this, guys. The time gap between shovel and blow and then between blow and plow is a galaxy. Right? Like when we had a shovel, the shovel takes a certain amount of time, but then we upgraded to the snowblower, and that takes less time. But our neighbors, they got a plow. And you know what takes less time than the snowblower? The snowplow. So I don't think that there is a situation where you necessarily want your neighbor doing it, but you also wouldn't turn it down if he offered.
No, if I was out, if I'm out there tomorrow shoveling and he comes over, I'll say, no, I got it. I can shovel. Thank you, though.
See, now I would wake up at 4 a.m. and shovel, so I wouldn't have to see the guy.
You're so weird.
I'm just telling you the way.
Man of the people.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm out. Jason, I know we're over 2 months away, but do you know any of the plans for the draft? Where the stage is going? Has anything been released on how this thing is going to be set up?
No, not publicly. And you're right. It's really just around the corner. Like you say, 2 months out, and that's true. But at the same time, that time's going to fly by, and it's going to be here before we know it. I don't know where they're going to be staging various things. Of course, one of the things that I would be concerned about if I was the NFL is I have no idea what the Wisconsin weather is going to do, right? So I assume they have some sort of contingency plans for one of those classic April snowstorms that we've been known to get. Usually they're around April 14th. I feel like I have a few memories in my social media of like 12 inches of snow, which would allow Bill to get some more work in because Gabe, I would assume, will be up here for the draft. But yeah, I don't know. And they have not really gone into the details of just what they're doing logistically. And for me, the media starts with me, and it also starts for Goody and LaFleur with how the hell do I get to work? And as we wrapped up the draft last year, Goody flat out said, somebody asked him about the draft, and he basically said, look, my number one concern is how do we get in the building? Like, it's going to be a carnival all around Lambeau Field. So how do we, because remember, for them, and not that people care, but for us as reporters as well, the Lambeau Field is the headquarters. Like, I always enjoyed it when fans would ask me, hey, are you going to, Chicago for the draft or wherever the different places are that it's traveled to? And I'm like, no, because the draft is always the same for us and for the teams. They do them from their headquarters, unless, of course, we're in the throes of a pandemic. So, Goody's going to be in the same draft room and doing the same press conferences and looking at the same big board that he would no matter where the draft is. And the fact that it's in Green Bay, I think for those guys is just an inconvenience. While, kind of like I'm sure Matt LaFleur will handle the inconvenience of playing in Ireland with similar calmness.
Jason, can you recall a team ever putting out a statement on social media about the future of a player who's still under contract, that they're moving on from him? Like, because the whole thing with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers yesterday just struck me as very strange.
Yeah, totally agree. And I hope they put out another one today that says they're going to be going a different direction at wide receiver, and they'll be releasing Devontae Adams too. I don't know the inner workings of the Jets. They don't seem to be very good. But the whole Rodgers thing, I was completely wrong about it. Like, I thought he would go there. They would be a over 500 team that made the playoffs 2 straight years, weren't good enough to go to the big game, but he would get them to the postseason, kind of change the way that team was viewed, and then they'd go into 2025 trying to figure out is he still playing at a high level, et cetera. Obviously, rupturing your Achilles 4 plays into your tenure with the Jets screws up everything. And if you look at his numbers, and if you look at some of the games he played, while his mobility was curtailed, he could still sling it. And so one of the great what-ifs that I would have is, what if he never ruptures his Achilles? Like, is Nathaniel Hackett a far better play caller if he has Aaron Rodgers? Is Robert Saleh still employed? Is the GM still employed, Joe Douglas? I mean, we'll never know all that because talk about a complete and abject failure. That's exactly what that turned out to be. And so, I assume it was their way of, pretending that they're thankful. I mean, they posted then subsequently a thank you, Aaron, post, which these are all so stupid. Like, when you get fired, which is basically what he got, right? He's under contract.
Yep.
The idea of these teams, and they do this for coaches that they fire now. Like, I just don't. It just seems so hollow and ungenuine. I just don't get it. And again, now I am all in on, even though we won't spend tons of time talking about it because I do think it alienates people that listen to the show. I can't wait to see where he lands and if he plays next year. I am fascinated by that. It's one of the things that I'm super curious about, and I want to see if the league retires him or if he has multiple opportunities and chooses one, or if he's only got one option and he takes it, or says, nah, I think I'll wait and see if somebody loses their starting quarterback early in the year or in training camp. I mean, I find it very difficult to imagine him calling it a career on how things played out in New York. But again, anything is possible.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning, helping Gabe through his little snow dilemma. Have a great Valentine's Day.
I don't think I helped him at all.
I
don't think I helped him at all.
I think you gave some good suggestions. And you also started what could be a auction between Gabe and Tausch for the snowblower sitting in your driveway.
Like, let's be honest. I do not want a snowblower because this is only going to enforce those that have told me I need a snowblower, that I need one. So I'm digging in even harder that I do not need one. And I've got 2 hands and a shovel that I can do the job with.
Captain Stubborn Pants over here. All right, Jason, have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
Listen to Jason Wilde on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every day here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We'll take a break. We got Craig Karmazin coming up next. Maybe Craig will have a solution for Gabe's snow dilemma. That's next.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's commercial payment solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems and giving you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a crash in Waukesha County, 94 East at Springdale. 2 vehicles involved in this. It's off on the left shoulder, but you've got a Jeep facing the wrong way on the shoulder, and another vehicle, looks like a black sedan, also involved with this. So backups are starting to stretch a little bit back now on 94 East as people work their way around that accident. Again, 94 East at Springdale Road in Waukesha County. Still a smattering of broken down vehicles as well, including a semi broken down on 94 West at 70th Street, and also volume starting to pick up just a tad, so keep that in mind if you're heading out the door this morning. And checking the Storm Team forecast for today, monitoring a multi-round snowmaker for this weekend. The first of those rounds expected to arrive this evening. Our high today around 27, lows into the single digits tonight. Then round 2 throughout much of the day on Saturday, when it's all said and done, between 4 and 10 inches of snow possible. High tomorrow around 32. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Gabe, you're right. I actually just looked at the stats. No hypocrite has ever won a championship.
Fridays with Mo.
Mark Attanasio, the last thing he wanted to do was play a video and tribute Craig Counsell in any way. So I give Mark Attanasio a ton of credit.
Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is sponsored by Landworks Landscape Services. Their creative and talented team will design, build, enhance, and maintain beautiful landscapes in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more and see their work at landworkswisconsin.com.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Certainly, Craig Karmazin will have some suggestions on what Gabe can do to repay his neighbor who took care of the driveway. First things first, Craig. What is the past tense of snowblow?
Snowblew.
You said that so confidently. We've been having that debate this morning. I'm not sure. Let me ask you this. We talked about this yesterday, and Gabe, you can go ahead and give us your answer to this. You know this thing right here? The thing that you use to scroll around your computer? It's called a mouse.
Yeah.
What do you call it if you have multiple of these?
Why would you have multiple?
You know, because you run a Staples. I don't know, Gabe.
Store.
Answer the question.
Why would you have multiple? Because you've got two screens in front of you, and the one mouse operates for both.
Sure, but in this room there are multiple
mouses.
That's what I said. It's not mice, right?
Why wouldn't it be mice? What if there was a bunch of...
Because it's not the animal?
Craig, what say you?
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
I'm going to go mouses, but I'm not very confident in it.
You were more confident in Snow Blue than you are mouses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very confident in Snow Blue.
Yeah, but Gabe, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What are the guys in green on the field called in Lambeau Field?
Packers?
Packers.
Okay. What are a bunch of guys that work for Green Bay Packaging that put stuff into boxes?
Packers.
What the hell's the difference? Why wouldn't it be mice?
Both of those are live, actual human beings.
Yeah, that doesn't. God didn't intend it that way.
One of these is an inanimate object, and the other is an actual living animal.
I think you're wrong.
I just don't think the Bears-mice rivalry sounds as good as you've been calling them Packers.
So, Craig, what does Gabe have to get for his neighbor who took care of the driveway? Not once, but twice.
Just like a little case of carbless.
Oh, there you go.
Does he have to meet him,
Yeah.
Craig? Does he have to meet him?
No.
Yeah,
No.
thank you. Well,
Leave
the
it-
East Coast. Sorry. Yeah, East Coast guy.
Yeah, leave it on. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Case of something. Leave it on the porch. Thanks. And like with a little Post-it note on it. You're
John weighing in on our YouTube stream. Remember, you can always stream the show on our YouTube page, ESPN Milwaukee. He says, Chewy's going to let a six-pack of beer freeze and shatter on someone's porch just because he doesn't want to talk to people.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of leaning towards gift card. But you don't want to give him a gas
back in the
card 'cause
day-
that reminds you of work.
Yeah. Back in the day, my dog used to bite people all the time, and like I feel like in a lot of places I would have been sued or different things, but I was living in Beaver Dam, and at the time, man, it was amazing. A 30-pack of Busch Light would do wonders.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
In Dodge County? Yeah. You're walking around with a 30-pack of Busch Light like that. That's like gold.
Yeah. It got me out of a lot of stuff.
Craig, how concerned are you about Giannis's injury to the calf again?
Not concerned. So I was with the Bucks in Minneapolis this week, on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's an exciting time to be around the team, just with everything going on with new players and obviously some injuries to worry about. And I think the point is, like, we've seen this team limp into some 2 seeds and 3 seeds, but I think as a team they're very conscious of they would rather be really, really healthy as a 4 seed or a 5 seed than limp in as a 2 seed or a 3 seed. And so just need to make sure it gets right.
So you think that he's going to be fine after the All-Star break? No concern over Dame either, because it looks like he's going to play in the All-Star game and defend his three-point championship and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, Dame, there's a chance Dame could go on Wednesday, and it just was not there. It just wasn't worth pushing it. Like, it was close. And again, that's the beauty of understanding what's happened in these recent years is like, okay, the whole thing is about health at the end of the year, so let's get there. So Bucks play, February 20th home against the Clippers. Hope Giannis is there. Expect Giannis is there. But again, like, you just don't know with a calf. I mean, Chewy, calves. They're like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be really careful with them.
Craig Karmazin hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as he does each and every Friday at this time. Craig, who would you like to see the Packers pursue in free agency or in a trade this offseason? There are a lot of big names out there that we think could upgrade both sides of the ball. Is there one that you have your eye on?
Really bad players so that the Bears can beat them and dominate the NFC North. Is that a good answer?
So the me and media then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we have invested so much in the Chicago Bears, and we just need them to finally have that year. Like, doesn't good karma deserve it? I mean, we've worked hard. We're good people. We're nice to our pets. Like,
I don't care how nice you are. There is no way our loyal listeners are rooting for the Bears to upgrade any portion of their roster to be in a position to beat the Packers. Sorry, Craig.
But theoretically, isn't Chicago even closer to Milwaukee than Green Bay?
You
so
could be Mother
like
Teresa, and people are not going to side with you on this one. You could do all the good deeds. You could snowblow Gabe's driveway every day from now until the day you die, and you would not earn enough cachet with the loyal listeners to get them to side with you on this.
I mean, Gabe, what do you live closer to? Packers headquarters or Bears headquarters?
Well, so I was actually, you said that, so I started Googling right away.
A little Google map action?
Yeah, I'll let you know here in a second.
Well, now it depends.
I mean, you're pretty
He's
much
going to try to make you say Hallis Hall, which is in Lake Forest, which is obviously closer. But if you go all the way down to Soldier Field, I think it's a push.
Yeah, and Gabe, what have the Packers ever done for you, right?
What do you mean, what have the Packers ever done for me? They've done plenty.
You used to work for them.
God, we're going to have to kick, kick the owner off of the radio airwaves. We're going to have to kick him off.
No, I proposed. So who says? Would you say yes to Rashawn Gary, a 1 and a 2 for Myles Garrett?
I mean, I wouldn't say no. You tell me, because the Browns are also a partner in Cleveland. Would the Browns say no to that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns are saying they're not saying yes to any Packers deal, but we know that Goody wouldn't want to give up 2 1s, and we know that Rashawn Gary is a underrated, I believe, from Chewy, but a productive pass rusher. So for Cleveland to be able to replace, Garrett with someone who is clearly a downgrade, but also get a 1 and a 2. I feel like that kind of would work for everybody.
Well, let me ask you this, Craig. What do you think if you just straight up traded Rashawn Gary to another team? What do you think that would command?
You're saying in draft capital?
Yes.
Wouldn't command much.
Like, what would it be worth? What would you get back? A 3rd-round pick? 4th-round pick?
No way. A 4th-round pick?
I
you
would
already
say
see what the guy's all about.
Right, because he's got a bigger salary right now. So I would think he still gets you a 2 or 3.
You are insane.
I think you guys underrate him.
Myles Garrett is not going for anything less than 2 first-round picks, or they're not going to do the deal. Come on, what are we doing here?
Rashawn Gary's never had double-digit sacks. That's what he gets paid for.
Wait, but don't his advanced analytics prove him to be much more? That's 10 of the plays of the year you're talking about. But don't his advanced analytics show that he has higher win rates and all those things that you look at?
They used to. Haven't as much.
Yeah, when you don't use your eyes to watch, sure.
Really good. If you look at situations where you don't need your eyes to watch him play, he is a top 5 pass rusher in this league.
All right, here is a suggested trade of a Ryan Heckman of Lombardi Ave. I just pulled it up on the old Google machine. Cleveland Browns received the 2025 first-round pick, which is number 23, a 2026 second-round pick, and, drumroll please, Romeo Doubs. Would you make it?
Yeah.
Gabe's like, right now, sign the deal, hit the gavel.
Don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you do that deal. I mean, Myles Garrett's different, right? Like,
he's a
Gabe
future
brought
Hall of
up,
Famer.
not getting sacked. When everybody knows, you're the only guy you need to prepare for, and, you still do it. There's 4 or 5 guys like that in the league, and we saw in the Super Bowl, right? If you can get pressure on a quarterback without having to blitz, that's how Tom Brady got beat in the Super Bowl. That's how Patrick Mahomes twice has been beat in the Super Bowl. That's the way. If Jordan Love's not the top 3 or 4 quarterback, that's the other way you can be a Super Bowl team if you have that kind of pass rush.
All right, so I got before we let you go, Craig, I got a Valentine, little poem. Give me the music, Will. Little Valentine poem for Myles Garrett. You ready? Roses are red, the Packers and Myles Garrett, a match made in heaven, NFC QBs couldn't bear it. What do we think?
Oh, you mentioned the Bears. Got back into it.
Well, I mean, sort of. I certainly didn't say them by name. I'm simply saying that the other NFC quarterbacks would have a tough time with the Packers and Myles Garrett's marriage. We got to let you go, Craig. A lot of our loyal listeners were calling for you to get the hook about, 7 minutes ago. Have a great Valentine's Day, and we will talk to you again soon.
Andre Jackson Jr. tomorrow night in the dunk contest, Dame in the three-point contest, and NBA All-Star Weekend. Enjoy, everybody.
Appreciate the reminder. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have a lot of people asking on the Carbless Talk and Text line, all of these alcoholic beverages that we are suggesting Gabe get for his neighbor who took care of his driveway. Did Craig Karmazin drink all of that this morning before coming on our show? That's what they want to know, Chew. That's what they want to know. We'll take a break. Be right back after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. The hottest takes.
Chris Middleton, as he has been traded. That's when you start celebrating that the Milwaukee Bucks made a move that was necessary, made a move that makes them better.
Without pumping the brakes.
Better? Perspective.
What are you talking about? You think the Bucks are better right now?
Oh, my gosh. Ben.
Swerve through all your sports opinions here. Kyle Brust and Nortman. Weekdays 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN and on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
It's the perfect Valentine's heart.
The kind a schoolboy would draw. It's the most adorable pendant we've ever created.
Innocent, fun-loving, and sweeter than honey.
Cute, cute, cute.
It's cherry red ceramic that's been through the fire.
We've been making ceramic jewelry for thousands of years.
Seriously?
Google it. But this ceramic heart has things they didn't know about thousands of years ago.
Like what?
Diamonds. 18 of them. These created diamonds were made for the one who sparkles like the sun.
I can see her in my mind right now.
It's the perfect Valentine's gift.
And it's only $128 at Kessler's.
Monica, what else do we have? We have 4 different ways to say I love you.
Each pendant is a different shape covered in diamonds.
Life is like a box of chocolates. An oval. A square with rounded corners. A teardrop. And a heart.
Your choice, just $148 at Kessler's. For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Race to savings at Menards and start updating your home today. We have what you need to give your bathroom a fresh, updated look. Shop Menards' great selection of bathroom products from American Standard. No matter the size of your bathroom, American Standard offers a superior line of toilets, faucets, sinks, and bathtubs. Complete your bathroom update today with American Standard. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and race to savings on all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
For more than 40 years, Network Health has been the trusted experts in health plans. Just like you, they're honest, hardworking, and grateful to call Wisconsin home. Whether you're seeking coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, Network Health has you covered with a range of options, including individual and family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare Advantage plans. Call Steve Llewellyn, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette basketball greatest scorers. Marcus Howard has all the records at Marquette, and his greatness might also be best explained by saying he passed George Thompson. Thompson, 1,773 points when finishing in 1969. It was the Marquette career mark until 2009, 40 years later. And with Marcus Howard, Thompson the only player averaging over 20 points per game for a career. George Thompson, not number one, but he belongs in the same room with Marcus Howard.
Feel your best and do it from the comfort of your own home. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. I haven't stopped raving about my in-home infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas since I bought it. I've got more energy, glowing skin, and the detox benefits are incredible. You can see all the options at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. Find one that fits your needs and you can get $500 to $800 off. Plus, this weekend, stop and see the different models from Good Health Saunas at the Nary Spring Home Improvement Show happening at State Fair Park in West Dallas. goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Big hurt. I heard that's like, eh.
Ron in the Key Wagon saying, you guys should slow down before you take on a sponsor.
Here I am.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I fell for the devil's daughter. I jumped in, yeah, I drank the water. Tell me, doctor, can you fix my brain? 'Cause everyone says I'm insane.
Ron in the Key did not enjoy my Valentine's Day poem for Myles Garrett. If you missed it, I said, roses are red, the Packers and Myles Garrett, a match made in heaven, NFC QBs couldn't bear it. Now, he criticized the rhyming, which I do believe it rhymes. Garrett and Barrett sort of rhyme. Then he criticized the iambic pentameter, I don't give a you-know-what. And then he took out Horicon, again, Gabe, which again is a thing that people are doing now after Chewy said it's the most Horicon thing you've ever said.
Yeah, this is on Chewy. This is 100% on Chewy. He set a bad example, and now everybody else is following.
I'm okay with that.
As long as you don't have to meet anyone in person.
A little context when it comes to Myles Garrett. Khalil Mack went for 2 first-round picks, okay? And I'm seeing a lot of chatter. Myles Garrett going to the Lions, which would not be healthy.
Yeah, and you're seeing there's just as much chatter about him going to the Packers. Like it's all just chatter and made up stuff on.
Yeah, but the difference is, Gabe, Detroit makes moves like this. Green Bay doesn't. Okay, that's the difference.
What move like this have
Jared Goff?
No, they took Jared Goff. They took Jared Goff because they traded away Matthew Stafford. They took Goff because they had to take a quarterback back. It's not like they did the move.
They didn't have to do the move. They didn't have to trade Stafford. They did.
Yeah, but it's not like they were trading Stafford to get Goff.
Give me a big move. Goody's done.
Well, I'm not saying that you're wrong about the Packers aspect. I just don't think the Bears. You can point to the Lions. Go, oh, look at this huge move that they've made. They're mostly
I'm just saying.
I think they're mostly homegrown as well. Like I don't know if the Lions would make a move like this. I don't know if they have. They haven't really made a move like this. I don't know their front office well enough, Chew, to say that they would or wouldn't. But right now, based on who they are, they're mostly homegrown.
Would you compare Myles Garrett, or actually, would you compare Khalil Mack to Myles Garrett?
Okay, but here's the thing about the Khalil Mack thing. It happened in 2018. Just because the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks doesn't mean everyone else has to do that for a high-caliber player, right?
And the age is a huge thing there as well.
That's what I was going to say next.
When Khalil Mack was traded, Chewy, he was 27. Myles Garrett's 30. Those 3 years are a huge difference in the NFL.
How many defensive MVPs, though, has Myles Garrett won to Khalil Mack?
They both have 1.
That's all? Garrett?
Yeah.
I thought he had 2. No?
I don't think so. I think he just has the 1.
I'm just saying they're not gonna anything less than 2 first. Why would you do it? I'd never do it. Not in a million years. He's too good of a player.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here, Chew. I don't think that they actually move him. I am not moving off that stance until the Browns actually move off their stance of, yeah, we're going to actually trade him.
Well, the nice thing is this thing will be over by early March, right? Because I think he's due a bonus.
Correct.
And they're not going to pay him the bonus and then trade him, like you said, because Cleveland would have to eat that whole thing. So we don't have to deal with this until June 1 or something along those lines.
So this would be something less than a month because the 12th, March 12th is when that bonus is due.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Valentine's rolling in now on the Carbless Talking text line. You guys ready for this, Will?
Oh, yeah.
Roses are red. The Lions wear blue. If the Packers get Garrett, Detroit's in the poo. That's a collab between me and Chef Ed, guys. Chef Ed and I collabing on that one.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I.
Let's go to break.
I tickled Big Cat.
At least you can make yourself laugh.
Well, activity's starting to pick up now. First, we've still got our crash that is now blocked the left lane on 94 East at Springdale. Got the two vehicles. This is the one involving that Jeep facing the wrong way on the left shoulder, and they are working now to block that left lane so they can work on getting those cars out of the way. But you will have some backup stretching from the crash point west now past of Highway 164. Again, this is in Waukesha County on 94 East. Also have another crash just east of that on 94 East near Barker Road, and that is blocking the right shoulder there. And we've got a separate incident right now. That's what the DOT is calling it on 43 North at Hampton. Looks like a white car and a squad is already on scene there. And checking the storm team forecast for today, watching for a couple of rounds of snow impacting southeast Wisconsin this evening and then tomorrow as well. The first round arriving around 6 o'clock tonight. High today of 27, down to single digits for the low tonight. Then for your Saturday, again, that second round throughout the day. Could see between 4 and 10 total inches of snow by the time it's all said and done. High Saturday around 32. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at TPC Scottsdale, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through February 28th. Your winter chance to play TPC Scottsdale awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If you go to the expo before the marathon, they got a ton of gear. They got t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and all of the things that say the name of the marathon or the name of the city and all of the things. You got unlimited designs.
Oh, no. Oh, I can't. I got that marathon runner coming in tonight.
What marathon runner?
You know, this guy, Jean-Paul. I met him when I was working at Pendant, editing a book on running.
But there is just one official marathon jacket. Every marathon puts one out. They change it year to year. And if you run the marathon, it's a nice little display of accomplishment.
Oh, wait, Jean-Paul. Isn't he the guy who overslept at the Olympics 4 years ago, missed the marathon?
The number of people I saw walking around the 27th mile wearing the official marathon jacket, who very clearly did not run the marathon, was irking me, man.
Yeah, that's him.
He's from Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yeah, he's Trinidadian and Tobagan.
How do you oversleep at the Olympics?
I know.
I mean, it's like the biggest event of your life. You'd think you'd have like 6 alarm clocks, paying off little kids in the village to come banging on your door.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited.
Keep getting us your suggestions for how Gabe can thank his neighbor who I still can't. Who took care of his driveway. He has a snowblower and he came over and he used it twice. There you go. On Gabe's driveway. And Gabe wants to thank him. He hasn't met him, so keep getting us your suggestions. We've gotten a lot of good ones, a lot of alcoholic beverages related to Wisconsin, Bunzel's meat, carbless drinks, a gas card. But then, of course, there seems to be some idea that obligation goes along with the gas card, like I expect you to keep doing it. I don't know. I don't feel that way. Someone suggested cash, and we were like, I don't know. Someone weighed in on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 800-990-3776, saying you can give a kid cash. You can't give another adult cash. It's a weird...
Completely agree with that.
So let's talk a little bit about the Green Bay Packers. We have been talking about players that we want them to add this offseason. Michelle Smallman is a Packers fan. Last year, she did sort of a Bachelor-esque sort of contest campaign to figure out which team she was going to give her allegiance to. The Packers won. So Michelle Smallman of Unsportsmanlike was talking about how she's actually really confident about where the Packers are right now. Take a listen to Michelle.
I kind of look at the Green Bay Packers with more positivity maybe than others do. I think it's good for them to go out there and be campaigning to add more weapons because they look at their division last year and they realize that the Vikings are there, the Lions are there, and the Bears feel like they're coming. And if you're the Packers, you got to keep pace and or try to get to the front of the pack. And the only way for you to do that is to continue to grow and to add to the group. I also think about the fact that, like you mentioned, they had a lot of injuries that they dealt with. Jordan Love got injured at the very end of that first game in the season versus the Eagles in Brazil. You had Jair Alexander get injured, Christian Watson towards the end of the season. They dealt with a lot. But they also couldn't beat the good teams, right? They didn't beat the Lions. They didn't beat the Vikings. They didn't beat the Eagles. But I'm kind of now relitigating some of this based on the Eagles' performance in the Super Bowl. I go back, and obviously the first game of the season isn't really a correct barometer, and it was on a neutral field in Brazil, but the Packers were right there with the Eagles. They also had a 22-10 score versus them in the playoffs, and even though it didn't feel particularly close when you watched it, it was still better than what the Chiefs were able to do against them. So I guess now rehashing it, I feel a little bit more positive about the Packers and their chances next season because they are young, because they have had some of that playoff experience as a young group. If they can stay healthy and add, I think that window is open for quite some time. Plus, I have a lot of faith in Matt LaFleur to be able to get the job done.
Chew, your reaction.
No, I disagree. They were one of the more healthy teams in the league last year. Yes, Love was banged up a little bit and they lost Jair, but in comparison to like Detroit, it's not even close. Look, right now, without any free agent moves or whatever, kind of picking them to do the same next year. Now, that could change if they add pieces, but these pieces mean double whammies, which I just don't see Goody doing having to trade for someone and then having to pay him. That's just not the way he does biz. So if the season was to start tomorrow, I would probably say 11-6, maybe 12-5, playoff team, but not good enough to win it all. That's where I'm at right now.
How much better would you feel about this team, Chew, if they had gotten to that 6 seed and won a playoff game? Because that's what I keep coming back to. Because the Packers have a better roster to me than Washington. And everybody's so high on Washington now. But the Commanders have the same problem that the Packers do.
Yeah.
They've got a really good team above them in their division. They've got to go through the Eagles, which means they have to go on the road consistently. Like, I think the Packers have a better roster now. Washington certainly has the better quarterback. I don't think anybody can dispute that, especially with the way that Jaden Daniels played last year. I think the Packers have a good roster. They just need the roster to continue to grow. And yes, in order to add a Myles Garrett, in order to add a Max Crosby, it's a double whammy. But to add Devontae Adams, that's not going to take a double whammy. Like, he's going to get released. You're not going to have to trade for him. Like, nobody's going to trade for his contract.
But the thing is, how much is a 33-year-old receiver who can still play get? How much is he going to get? And there's going to be teams looking for his services. So it's going to be a little bit of a bidding war.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to go to the highest bidder. Like, Devontae, I don't think at this point is going to the highest bidder.
Well, he wants to win a ring.
Because he wants to win a championship.
I did see this morning Dan Graziano on Get Up say that he thinks the best match, they were doing a matchmaker segment on Valentine's Day, was the Cowboys. And I hadn't even thought about Devontae going to the Cowboys until I saw that on ESPN this morning.
I don't think that makes sense for him. Cowboys aren't anywhere close to winning a
I
championship.
agree.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Let's just not drink the Kool-Aid of, oh, he's definitely coming here because he played here. Great.
I'm not there, but I think the Packers are in the running. The Packers are.
Oh, I think they're in the running too.
They're in the short list too. They make more sense than Dallas does.
Yeah, but Goody always says he's in the running. Well, we're in the running. What did he get? $20 million? Well, I offered him $6 million.
Yeah,
they're always in the running game.
But he also did get two of the biggest free agents of last year's class.
Sure, and he's got to do that again.
Yeah.
What you said it, Gabe, during the season. Teams that win the Super Bowl have superstars.
Yeah.
Have superstars.
Yep. And the only way for the Packers to get that is to go out and acquire them.
Is this just a thing that people do in the offseason, though, guys? They sort of, and I know Michelle used the word reframe, and she's kind of like relitigating it. But, you know, you get further away from the end of the season, and it doesn't feel as bad, and you start leaning into the optimistic take, and you start leaning into the, well, what if? You talk about, well, they'll be healthier, or they'll improve, they're not going to regress again, and all of that stuff to me feels a little like wishful thinking. Like, yes, we hope that all of those things happen, but I'm not willing to attach my boat to that. I'm not willing to like hook my wagons to, we think they'll all get better. We think Jordan Love will find that 9-game stretch he had last season, not the past, but the previous. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really willing to do that. I need to see proof that the front office is as interested, as invested as fans are in wanting this team to be a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yeah, and I think Goody's going to have the money to go out there and get some guys. Whether they end up being the guys we want, like, and now I'm blanking on his Azeez Ojulari. Was a name that was thrown out there during the trade deadline when we knew and everybody was talking about how the Packers pass rush had to get better. And he's undersized. He's really a third down specialist, but he can still get after the quarterback. If the Packers sign him to a deal that obviously wouldn't take the draft capital, wouldn't take the amount of money that you would need for a Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, is that good enough for you?
So that's a really interesting point, and I want to tackle that before we have to move on. Who is the person out there, either free agent or trade, that makes the biggest impact on this Packers team, but also is reasonable cost? Right? Because you can go out and get the most expensive, and it's going to make the biggest impact. But is there a way of finding that sweet spot of this will be impactful and it won't cost as much as 2 hypothetical first-round picks? Do you know what I mean? So, like, Chew, if you think that Myles Garrett is going to cost 2 first-round picks, and that's your perception of what the deal will take, is there somebody else out there, maybe not at that position, maybe at that position, who can be impactful? Maybe not as impactful, but might not cost as much. Can you find that sweet spot? And I bet that's what Goody is trying to do. Is there someone that comes to mind for you? And is it the obvious Devontae? Is it the obvious Davante Adams is the guy who seems to want to reconnect, to have a reunion with the Green Bay Packers, who also will have his pick once he gets released from the Jets of where he wants to go, and then might take a quote-unquote hometown discount, hometown deal to be a member of the Green Bay Packers again?
Yeah, it's Davante, because when you look at the 3 DNs, Crosby, Garrett, and Hendrickson, they all want a new contract. So you're going to have to pay them a ton of money. See, I'm looking now at the roster. Who do I expect to go from a really good player to superstar next year? I'm expecting Tucker Kraft to make strides and be one of the elite tight ends in this league, and then Cooper. But the problem with Cooper is I thought this about Quay Walker, and we all know what happened to Quay Walker.
Yeah, but in
That's
fairness,
why I'm a little
Cooper's
hesitant.
actually been better, hasn't he?
Yeah. Cooper.
But I'm just saying,
Cooper's already accomplished more in his 1 year than Quay has in 3.
I agree, but I'm still not. I still am hesitant about falling into that trap because I love the athletic ability of Quay Walker. Now his instincts seem to be a little bit in question. I'm just saying who I expect to take that next step.
Well, you didn't even mention
the superstars.
You didn't even mention the most important one.
Who's that?
Jordan.
Well, Jordan, of course.
If Jordan stays stagnant, it's going to be tough for the team to succeed. It's going to be really hard.
In order for Jordan to take that next step, he needs superstars, or at least he needs 1 superstar, 2 superstars. If you had a legit number 1 receiver coupled what I think Tucker Kraft can do with Josh Jacobs in the backfield, feel pretty good. But it's got to happen before I'm going to say I feel good.
We got to take
That's
a break.
all I'm saying.
Here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I do have Mick weighing in on the YouTube stream. Devontae Adams has a history of demanding money, the most money. Stop with the hometown discount scenario. Adams wanted out of Green Bay. Why should team management have any faith in a mercenary? He's going to be 33. He's going to want maximum money. He's not a burner. They need a vertical threat. And then he follows it up by saying, Goody has a history of finding lesser-known talent, up-and-coming players that haven't crested yet. And to that I say, to only a certain extent. Yes, we all love the idea of the diamond in the rough, the being able to outsmart your competitors, outsmart the other GMs, see something in a guy that nobody else saw, snag him, nurture him, and watch him blossom. But it doesn't happen frequently enough. Sometimes you need the sure thing, guys. Sometimes you need to just go out and get the sure thing. The guy who has been there, the guy who has done it, and you know will likely have that level of production for your team. And yes, it would require Goody changing his stripes a little bit, doing things a little different. And I think we're at that point. We'll take a break. Be right back.
An incredible BOGO deal going on right now with your Screamin' Sicilian favorites. Hurry in while the offer lasts until the 18th of February at your local Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. Think about that. With Screamin' Sicilian, that includes the original Screamin' Sicilian. That includes the Detroit style. That includes thin and crispy. That includes tavern style, stuffed crust pizza. That's just the Screamin' Sicilian brand from Palermo's. So right now, buy one, get one on your Screamin' Sicilian favorites at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. Hurry in while this is still going on until February 18th. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
One of the two vehicles involved in that crash on 94 East at Springdale looks like it's been cleared away. The state trooper and a black sedan are still on scene, but that Jeep that was facing the wrong way looks like it was either taken away or was able to get righted around and be on its way this morning. You'll still have some backups stretching to about Highway 164 and then heading east towards that crash site, so just be mindful there. Everywhere else, just a few broken down vehicles left from earlier this morning and a little light volume on 94 West as you head from about 35th Street through the stadium to about Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the Storm Team forecast, a winter weather advisory set to take effect at 6 this evening and run through the early morning Saturday, all of southeast Wisconsin included. Part of a 2-round snowmaker. The first this evening could drop between 2 to 4 inches of snow, high today of 27. Lows not dipping too far down tonight. Then another round of snow possible on Saturday when it's all said and done. Between 4 and 10 inches of snow could accumulate across southeast Wisconsin. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
Ever wondered what it's like to be an NFL play caller?
The concept of man-to-man versus zone defensively, that's what's going on in the NFL, right? I mean, that's the game.
All the schemes and everything in between.
When the defense for the Packers messes up, they're going to go, Pulaga told me that he's got 9-year-old kids that can figure that out. What the hell is going on out there?
The Homer Hour. Weekdays from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN and on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Low carbonation, high flavor. A match made in cocktail heaven from Carbless handcrafted cocktails. Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. Carbless is made right here in the great state of Wisconsin and satisfies that cocktail that you've been craving. The refreshing fruit flavors like lime and black raspberry and classic cocktail flavors like margarita and Moscow Mule are go-tos in the Nortman estate. And now, Carbless will be introducing new flavors. I can't wait to try them. Make sure you pick up Carbless on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's 2 things she counts in the house. One of the pictures. What do you think the other one is?
Firearms.
Viagra.
On 94.5 ESPN. Think you know the show better than the average ESPN Milwaukee fan? Now's your chance to prove it. It's time to play The Week in Rechew.
How you feeling, big guy?
I feel legit.
You nervous? This is part-time Will's first crack at this.
Oh, Will's doing it. Yeah.
What's he
He
nervous
dominated. He dominated 8-8 yesterday, Gabe.
It's a great list. But as soon as Chewy's done with Rechew, he's out of here.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. Smell you later.
All right, 5 questions, big guy. You get 3 right, you win. You get 3 wrong, that means you lose this week as we quiz you on things that you said throughout the course of the week. Question number 1, who did you say you would listen to if they had a podcast?
Jesus. But I've never listened to a podcast. I mean, if Jesus had a podcast, I'd listen every day, but he doesn't.
Sure enough.
Now, we did have a number of people remind us that Jesus has a book, and you could probably get that book on tape or on, what do you call it? A podcast!
I've already read it like 28 times.
Okay.
I mean, 29th time.
Where's the cool drop back there?
29th time couldn't hurt you. Especially, I'm sure there's some pretty cool voices that, that have read it, that are available.
Who would you want, James Earl Jones or Morgan Freeman?
Well, considering one is no longer with us, he has gone with God, if you will. I think we got to go with the one who can still do the job.
Although,
I had no idea.
Arguably, the one who's no longer with us, if you could get that. Pretty sweet.
AI can do some remarkable things. It wouldn't shock me if they were able to do that. Go ahead with question 2.
Starts with the audio clip.
Well, that's why I'm not sharp. I'm normally sharp.
Yeah.
I'm normally sharp.
What did you say you were as sharp as?
I was sharp?
Yeah. Apparently, normally you are. But you weren't as sharp. And you're normally sharp as a?
Tack. As a tack. But I'm not sharp today because of the rock. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're 2 for 2.
That's like a phrase, though. That felt like cheating.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like he said, I'm sharp as a nail, and we'd be like, oh, it's a Chewyism. Sharp as a tack is a thing people say.
Total guess.
He doesn't say that. Chewy's sayings are like close to the ones that everybody else has, but they're always a little off.
Right.
So that's why I think when he says a normal one.
Okay, fair enough. I'm following the logic now.
All right, question 3. You can wrap this up early, Chew.
It's like I have COVID, and I can't taste.
What did you say was like having
hideous
COVID?
sub. Hideous sub. Hideous sub. Yeah.
What kind of sub?
I have to know what kind of sub it was?
I mean, I wasn't here, so Will is apparently willing to give it to you.
Yeah, I would give him the sub.
I don't even know what kind of sub it was.
I believe it was do you have a guess? What sub do you normally eat?
Well, what sub did you eat the other
Italian?
day?
Italian.
It was tuna, but...
No. Oh, wait. Gotcha. Yeah, you were talking about a bad tuna sub. But yes, that was very convoluted.
Do we give it to him?
I mean, it's up to you. I was not here.
I'm going to say no, because he was talking about one tuna sandwich in particular.
Whoa, tough guy.
Look at tough guy now. All right. Those are fighting words.
Chewy, you actually admire it. You actually kind of love it because you said at the beginning of the week that you were going to get Will out of his shell, right?
Yeah, I did.
Put some hair on his chest.
Wow, this happened a lot quicker than Ashton. Ashton took months.
Years even.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next one.
What pet did you say would be cool to have on your shoulder?
An owl. Right?
It's true.
You guys
I
too.
love a pet owl on my shoulder. Wouldn't that be cool?
I don't think
like,
owls
who's the
are.
guy?
I don't think owls are shoulder creatures.
Could you have them for a pet though?
I mean, people.
you can have a lion. You can have.
Although, to be fair, that was a service owl. Okay, it wasn't just a pet.
Yeah, there. I think that'd be so cool.
All right, well, you already won, but let's see if you can get the last one.
Okay.
Starts with the clip.
Depends on the sandwich, but overall, most important elements to a sandwich, the main attraction. That was Ashton substitute. Being a tool. A complete tool.
Yes, you were imitating Ashton there. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. What is his deal?
That was amazing.
Did I run the table?
Well, you can't
other than the tuna.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tough guy didn't give it to me.
I'm
That's
glad
right.
I didn't give it to you now,
That's
especially.
right. That's right. Say it with your chest, Will. Say it with your chest.
So just
Get
4
a
out of 5
haircut.
for you.
How are you feeling, big guy, about the MRI?
It's starting to hurt now. I think I have mental issues. I really do.
Well,
gonna have to clip that
yeah,
for me.
that's-
You have to grab
just-
that.
I mean-
Just hold on to it.
I know. I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just I think it's something in my brain's telling me
Something is wrong, buddy. Something is wrong with
You
your
think
elbow.
so?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
I
something.
thought so. Okay, how have we gone from you've diagnosed this thing 5 different times, knowing exactly what it is, to the point of when you were scheduling this initial doctor's appointment so you could get the MRI, like, oh, I can already tell them what it is, and now you're backing off of that?
I think it's cartilage. If it's anything more than a scope, I ain't getting it done. I'm out. As we used to do to Mike Sherman. If it's anything more than a scope, I'm done.
What do you mean you're
Essentially,
done? Isn't the pain
I'm not getting it done.
But isn't the pain only going to get worse, bud? Aren't your limitations only going to grow? Yes, yes.
No, I'll just change my workout.
No, you live to work out.
I know, but I'll just change it. I am not getting major surgery. I'm just telling you right now.
So let
ain't
me ask you a
happening.
question. You would be okay with never being able to bench press again?
Yeah. Part of life. Yes.
But, like, your elbow's important to every arm workout. You don't work out your legs. Famously, you don't work out the legs.
Yeah,
Turns out
legs
you
are
need your
overrated.
elbow for just about every single arm workout.
Yeah, but it's only when it like totally compresses. So if that's the case, then I'll do what most people do when they go to the gym: half curls, half whatever, half squats, half this. So I'll fall right in line with everyone else. How's that?
Yeah, but you don't want to be like everyone else.
Sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, Gabe.
All right, Kenny Rodgers. Chew, good luck with the MRI. We will be eagerly awaiting the results. Hope everything turns out all right, but I do think that you have a procedure in your future, bud.
Okay, I will let you guys know as soon as I find out. Does that mean I can take Monday off, or what? Tuesday and Wednesday, and maybe even Thursday?
For all the grief you gave Gabe and Joshy for not being here the last 2 days, now you're going to turn around and just not show up?
You know what? I'm proud of Gabe. The other guy, wow.
I won't even say his name.
Just not. Well, no, because clearly now, like just like Joshy fell into favor over Ashy, like Will here is now just on top of the food chain after he stood up to Chew today.
It felt pretty good.
It's a good point.
Well.
Hey, Don't do it too often, though.
No, I won't.
We'll try to coach you through this
you
evolution.
gotta pick your spots.
That's right. Hey, all you sports bettors, if you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you are missing out on an elite experience. It's a complete sports betting paradise. State-of-the-art venue with dozens of self-service betting kiosks, seating for more than 200 people, a first-class bar and restaurant, a VIP deck, and a broadcast booth, which we broadcast the weekly wager from each and every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. And, oh, by the way, there's a 2,000-square-foot video wall where you can watch all of the sports, all of the games, all of the things. They have figured it all out. Bet above the rest only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel and the new Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
On 94 East near Springdale, where we're working still on a crash. One of the two vehicles involved earlier was a Jeep facing the wrong way on that shoulder. That has since been taken care of. Still one vehicle, though, remaining, and a squad out there as well. Backups are a little bit lighter. They have been back to Highway 164, now a little bit closer to County F, but still a little bit of a slow go as you work east on 94 north of Waukesha. Everywhere else is pretty good this hour. Just a few broken down vehicles still, including that semi on the ramp from 70th Street to 94 West. Otherwise, light volume, pretty full freeway speeds across much of the area. And checking the Storm Team forecast for today, a winter weather advisory kicks off at 6 this evening for all of southeast Wisconsin, running till early Saturday. A couple rounds of snow could lead to, by the time it's all said and done, 4 to 10 inches. Pretty wide range across southeast Wisconsin. First round later this evening, second round throughout the day on Saturday. High today of 27, high Saturday of 33. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
What's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're community advocates, fundraisers, small business champions, and all around passionate about you. Educators Credit Union. Achieving more together. Insured by NCUA.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Food's here at Quick Trip, and it's ready when you are. Hungry and on the go? How about a corn dog? Crispy golden cornmeal batter coating around a juicy hot dog. So delicious. Craving pizza? Quick Trip's Pothole Pizza is just what you need. Thin, crispy crust and a savory sauce. Piled high with a blend of cheese. Food's here. Fuel up at your one-stop shop for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. College? You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. Hi, it's Gina Della from Pella. With Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. A 10-year labor warranty is always included, so your windows and doors are secure for years to come. Our expert installers are available year-round and can install in as little as a day. If something ever goes wrong, Pella will handle it ASAP because you work with the same team from start to finish. Oh my gosh, why wait? Get the Pella experience and this incredible deal. 0% interest for up to 6 years on brand new Pella windows and doors. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But she doesn't know. Every now and then, I got the blammer coming up and I'll let you use my tractor for 2 of the blue things. Which I think's a pretty good deal. Which gets me in trouble.
You got a Viagra ring? Yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? No, I ain't happy yet. But I'm way less sad.
Do you guys remember when I was at the State Fair a few years ago and I was walking through the Expo Center and I saw a display for Good Health saunas and I was like, ooh, I need a sauna. I'm all about health and wellness and longevity, and I was like, I've heard about these things. Let me just try it out. Loved it, bought it, still love it. And you can do the same, guys. This weekend at the Nary Spring Home Improvement Show from the 14th through the 16th, Good Health Saunas has a display there. So say you've heard me talking about it and you're like, are they really that great? Here's your chance to find out for yourself. Go to the Nary Spring Home Improvement Show. It's at State Fair Park. Check out the saunas. Tell me if you like how it feels, how it looks, if you think you got a spot for it in your house. And go to their website, goodhealthsaunas.com. That's where you can check out all of the models before you go so you have an idea of what might be best for you. And tell them that Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you. So, Gabe, you weren't here this week. We talked about a lot of things, but mostly what the Packers need to do to get over the hump. The thing that, the player that, whatever it is, you have been adamant, and I agree with you that this needs to be a top priority for the green and gold. Jordan Love has to get better. Doesn't matter you can put all the pieces around him. You can go out and get one of the best receivers to ever play the game. You go out and get a pass rusher. You can go out and get and solidify or add depth to your defensive backs. If Jordan Love doesn't improve, this team goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. You take a look at the teams that were in the Final Four, that the NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game. Over in the AFC, you had a guy who won the MVP. You have a guy who's the best quarterback in the game today in Patrick Mahomes. And then over in the NFC, Jalen Hurts, who I don't think anybody can dispute how good he is, even if it's not with the traditional numbers that we're used to, because he does so many other things for that Eagles team. And Jaden Daniels, who had such a tremendous rookie season. Like, you need to have good quarterback play. Like, again, maybe it doesn't have to look the way it looks with Patrick Mahomes, because all 4 of those guys have just so drastically different playing styles. But if Jordan Love can't lift his game, especially in those important games, you go back and look at his stat lines in all of the games that they lost, and they're not very good. Like, if he doesn't get any better, doesn't matter if they go get Myles Garrett. Doesn't matter if they add Devontae Adams. Doesn't matter if they add Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. Like, he has to play at a better level than he did this past season.
So a lot of analysts point to the footwork and his throwing motions as areas where Jordan Love can make improvements. And it's like anything else, guys. When they talk about building a habit, creating a habit, you just have to do it and do it and do it over and over again, LL Cool J. Like, he needs to go out there and do fine footwork, excellent footwork, all off season long. Because what ends up happening, Gabe, is he starts out showing the footwork and the motions that you're like, oh my gosh. So we talked about Tom Clements. Wow, really got a hold of Jordan Love, really cleaned up some of the things that caused him problems. But when the game is on the line and the pressure starts to ratchet up, he falls back into old habits. And that's when I think you see the errant throws, him not making the good decisions. And that's when you're like, oh, we're just not there yet. It is not instinctive yet for Jordan Love to play with good footwork, good mechanics.
Well, and I think this is where the injuries can play. Again, if you want to talk about it, make me making an excuse for Jordan Love, then I guess I'm making an excuse for him. But when you're talking about his footwork, and now he has to adjust that footwork so we can play through the injuries that he had, the lower leg injuries that he was dealing with all season, yeah, that's going to mess up your good fundamentals that maybe you had. And now you start to develop bad habits. So hopefully he can get to a point this offseason where he hits the reset button, can get completely healthy, and then start building that foundation back up again.
So are you more in lockstep with what Michelle Smallman said earlier when we played her reaction to the Packers season and her optimism headed into the offseason, where Jordan Love's injuries played a major role in them not getting over the hump? Are you there with her on that?
They did, yes, but you have to find a way to play through that. Like, Aaron's played through a bunch of injuries. Like, the year in 2014, he was dealing with a bad calf, right, down the stretch. The one year he basically played with a busted kneecap the entire time. I mean, Chewy can list the different injuries that Brett Favre had to play through. Like, quarterbacks have to play through injuries. That's part of it. And he has to figure out a way to be able to keep some of those fundamentals or go back to the fundamentals once he becomes healthy. Like, yeah, I think that it limited him certainly this year, but you have to find a way. If you want to be truly one of the best quarterbacks, you have to find a way to still be effective. That was the big question with Patrick Mahomes a couple of years ago. Suffered the calf injury that he did in their playoff run. Didn't matter. They still won the Super Bowl that year because he could be Patrick Mahomes. You have to find a way to go, and that's part of the learning and growing process for Jordan Love. But I look at this upcoming year as a huge year for him, as making that jump from second-year starter to third-year starter. Like, if he doesn't make the jump that we were all hoping for in year two, I'm going to be less optimistic about his future if he can't show that he's making some of those strides in year three.
See, one of the challenges is, of course, when a guy is talented enough to make throws from different release points, then telling him, no, you got to be more consistent with your release point. Like, Jordan Love is probably thinking, no, part of what makes me special is my ability to hit a target from different release points. There's sometimes it's going to be a defensive end in my face. I'm going to have to get around him in order to make the throw, make the completion. But I still think you want to go back to basics. And I think it is better to, this offseason, try to consistently throw from the same release point to get that to be your baseline. I want that to be standard operating procedure. And then on occasion, if you want to go to the well, you want to pull out the arsenal of these other things, great. Because that's the thing that I think Jordan Love thinks he can do all the things he needs to do while also not having a solid base, while also not doing the transfer of weight, while also throwing from different release points, because that makes him a little more of that playground Mahomesian quarterback. I just want him to, I guess, start from like a baseline across the board.
Having those skills, though, and knowing when to use them are two different things.
That's a great point by you. Great
because,
point.
Like Dame Lillard, great at step-back threes. Not every three he takes is a step-back three, right? Not when he's wide open does he go, I got to try a step-back here. And a lot of times when Jordan has that clean pocket, you see him kind of drop down to a side. Or Matthew Stafford had an issue with that for years with the Lions. Like, he would drop down, and then the ball would sail on him. He'd throw interceptions. It would happen to him all the time. So sometimes it takes a while to clean a lot of that stuff up. It's about knowing, okay, I have this skill. When do I use it? And when that pass rush is bearing down, you can drop down the slot, or you can throw off your back foot and still get something on it. But when you're operating with a clean pocket, that's when you don't want to be doing those things, because then the ball can be off target, and it's not going to be as clean as you want it to be. So kind of separating those two things, I think, is also a big part of it. Of, okay, I have this good foundational base, but I have these other skills. When do I use those other skills? And again, that's, as you play more and more and more, I think you kind of figure that out.
So I'm asking you to prognosticate here. I'm asking you to, Miss Cleo, call me now. But if Jordan Love improves and goes back to what we saw for that 9-game stretch at the end of last season, not the previous, would that be enough to get this team to the next level, or would that just be step one in getting them to a Super Bowl caliber team?
That's step one into getting them a Super Bowl caliber
But would it be enough? Let's say that Jordan Love focuses this offseason on getting better. Let's say he makes all of these improvements that we have just talked about in this segment, and they don't go out and get Devontae Adams, and they don't go out and get Max Crosby, and they don't go out and get Myles Garrett, and they don't go out and get, and don't go out and don't do any of those things. They draft and develop the way they always have. Is that enough?
No. You need more stars. The one team, the Chiefs, they still have stars at different levels. They don't have the roster that Philadelphia had, which is why Philadelphia won that game. They've got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And as much as I like Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, they're not that combination. They're not two future Hall of Famers, not yet. So you still need more stars on the roster. You need more guys to be able to step up defensively and be able to make plays. You need more offensive guys to go, yeah, I'm the guy. So if they don't go out and get those guys, okay, does Lucas Van Ness do anything, right, defensively? Does Rashawn Gary actually become the player that he's being paid to? Can Tucker Kraft take that next step? There's a lot more development that still has to happen across this roster for them to be like a true Super Bowl contender, because they just need more stars. They need more guys that can step up and make those big-time plays the way that we saw Cooper DeJean do it in the postseason, the way that Saquon Barkley, the way that A.J. Brown. I mean, you look up and down that roster, they've got stars all over the place. And that's going to be the trait of any Super Bowl team, is having those stars.
We're going to put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. If Jordan Love improves his mechanics and sort of regains that form from the end of the previous season, is that enough to get the Packers in the Super Bowl conversation? Because ESPN put that article out earlier this week, and we talked about it here on the show, saying they're still a piece or two away from being contenders. They were in like the 7th spot on that list, 7th in the power rankings of the offseason for the Green Bay Packers. Would it be enough for Jordan Love at the most important position on the field to improve his mechanics, to regain that form? Would that be enough to make them a Super Bowl contender? Let us know, 800-990-3776. We'll be right back after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. The hottest takes.
Chris Middleton, as he has been traded.
That's when you start celebrating that the Milwaukee Bucks made a move that was necessary, made a move that makes them better.
Without pumping the brakes.
Better? Perspective.
What are you talking about? You think the Bucks are better right now?
Oh, my gosh. Ben.
Swerve through all your sports opinions here. Kyle Brust and Nortman. Weekdays 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN and on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone. Up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
When two equally powerful opposing forces meet,
this is one of the best rivalries in the NBA.
Something has to give. These collisions can make entire cities shake. For centuries, the world's leading minds have tried to describe these cataclysmic events.
Do you believe this?
The National Basketball Association calls it Rivals Week. NBA Rivals Week. Heat versus Bucks and Celtics versus Lakers. Thursday from 7:30 Eastern on TNT.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Dominican High School's Aaron Womack III. The senior basketball standout etching his name in state and school record books by passing the 2,000 career point threshold. The 6'6" Womack is racking up the big stat lines this season, including back-to-back games with 96 total points scored. He's averaging over 30 points a game this season, which is of course impressive enough in itself, but he also puts in the work on the boards, averaging 11+ rebounds a game. Womack is hoping to propel Dominican to the state title for the first time in his career. And when it comes to the next level, Womack will be playing Division I basketball next season for Syracuse. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Aaron Womack from Dominican High School.
Feel your best and do it from the comfort of your own home. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. I haven't stopped raving about my in-home infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas since I bought it. I've got more energy, glowing skin, and the detox benefits are incredible. You can see all the options at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. Find one that fits your needs and you can get $500 to $800 off. Plus, this weekend, stop and see the different models from Good Health Saunas at the Nary Spring Home Improvement Show happening at State Fair Park in West Allis. goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Race to savings on everything to upgrade your home at Menards. Easily create your dream kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry. With so many styles to choose from, you'll be sure to find plenty of options that you will love. Start your project today and save big on Clearview Cabinetry. Visit Menards.com to view our entire selection of Clearview cabinets today. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and race to savings on great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you know that fact, though?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that fact?
Is that just a fact, Brig?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Chewy does. Chewy knows the most facts of anyone on the show.
He also knows the most fiction.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
Before we let you guys go, I want to tell you about my friends over at Quintessa Aesthetic Center. From January 1st through March 31st, they are offering special packages to help you start 2025 as a more confident you. Whether it's wellness, weight loss plans, Botox, skincare, or even IV therapy, they've got personalized options backed by medical expertise to help you look and feel your best. Check it all out at myquintessa.com and make this year the year you are the most confident inside and out. Got through the whole show and didn't mention it is official. Aaron Rodgers is no longer going to be a member of the New York Jets. The Jets themselves announcing it. Now, we talked about it with Jason Wilde a little bit, but Gabe, your thoughts on how, I guess, unceremoniously this whole thing ends?
I still can't believe the Jets put something out yesterday. Like, how many times have we seen, for example, let's take Davante Adams when he was with the Packers, right? Like, everybody knew that the Packers were going to eventually franchise tag him and then potentially trade him, right? And all that was reporting was done by guys like Adam Schefter. Like, he would put it out there. The Packers never put from their official Twitter account, yeah, we're going to move on from Davante Adams. They never did that. So, like, to do that with Aaron Rodgers, it's just such a weird move on the Jets' part, which clearly says to me that they're just going to cut him. Like, you're not going to put that out there. Now everybody knows you're going to get rid of him. Like, they're just going to cut him and let him go wherever he wants.
There are reports that Rodgers wanted to leave regardless, that he was done with the Jets regardless. Some of that a little bit is like, you don't dump me, I dump you. And who knows what the order of operations actually was with that whole dynamic. But I also think that this is a win for transparency. With Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and some of these guys who are at the end of their careers, but they want to keep playing, they think they still got gas in the tank or whatever it is, there's that like holding the organization hostage a little bit. And I don't even mean that in a mean-spirited way. It's just as they work through their decisions, there's this like, hey, clock's ticking. We need to know. We got to make decisions here based on what you want to do. And I think this was the Jets' way, Gabe, of being like, no mystery, no smoke and mirrors. This is what's happening. We're all on board, and we want the world to know it so that it doesn't feel like there's any sort of room for reversal.
I fully expect the Jets to still be a disorganized franchise. Like, that's who they are. But in terms of like a team, a move a good team would make, this is what they do. Like, you just fired your general manager. You just fired your head coach. You're bringing in new people. Like, you want to start over. That's the reason why you're bringing in these new people. Aaron Rodgers isn't a part of your future. Like, not even the immediate future. So moving on from him is 100% the right decision for the New York Jets. It's 100% the right decision to make. So, like, I'm not surprised by this, but the way the Jets have handled it, yeah, I'm a little surprised. And now, here comes the interesting part. Because the Jets were able to get out in front of it in such a way, Aaron Rodgers can't be like, oh, yeah, I still want to play. If nobody wants him and the league retires him, I thought that he would be one of the few guys that would get to choose when he got to retire. I'm really curious to see who's actually going to be signing up for his services.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers, when he watches the film of him playing last year, is a guy who is so confident in what he has done, in his resume, and in his ability to defy Father Time, he genuinely thinks he's still got it?
So he does. Okay, so in fairness, he does still have it to an extent. Does he have it to the extent that he had in 2020, 2021 when he was MVP? No. But he's still an above-average starter in the league. Still takes care of the football, still can sling it. Maybe the arm strength isn't quite what it was 4 or 5 years ago, but he's still an above-average starter. Like, if the Steelers, who are one of the favorites to go out and get him, I think he's an upgrade there.
But you know how this league works. You know that teams want young, they want manageable, they want the fifth-year option, they want all of those things. And so if you have to weigh the two options of, am I going to go out and grab somebody in the draft who we can control for the foreseeable future, is a little bit of a gamble, but so is Rodgers at this point. See, that's the issue. And then there's the question of how much control does he want? Does he want to bring his pals? Like all of the things that we have hammered over the last year or so during his time with the Jets. and during the end of his tenure in Green Bay. I think all of those things become a little bit too much for franchises to bring on.
But he doesn't have that power anymore. Because he was traded to the Jets last time, and he was not that far removed from an MVP season where the Packers were the number 1 seed in the NFC. That's a long time ago now. Like, he had a decent year this past year. The team was still bad. Coming off an Achilles injury, wrong side of 40. Like, whoever signs him, like, he's not going to be able to bring his buddies along with him this time.
I just can't believe that on the eve of Valentine's Day, the Jets dumped Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Timing? Can we not? Does it have to be the week of Valentine's Day, right? It just feels a little more like...
Well, would it be better if we knew Aaron Rodgers was dating someone? Like, oh, well, at least he's got so-and-so to go home and cry
I think he said on McAfee, like, several weeks ago, he's got a girlfriend. He threw her name out there.
I missed that.
Bonnie, Brittany, something. I don't know.
I was unaware of that.
Whew.
He said it on McAfee, where he says all the things.
For someone who claims that you seem to be pretty in the know when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and his personal life.
I am a big fan of Pat McAfee, and he pushes that content. And so if I happen to see some of the things that McAfee says about Aaron Rodgers, so be it.
Did you see that was one of the conditions, though, right?
That he couldn't go on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he could not go on McAfee.
Which, by the way, is what a team should do. You set the parameters. You set the guidelines. The player falls in line. Crazy. Hey, good stuff today.
Does he play in 2025?
We talked about that, and we will talk about that next week. And I'll tell the story. And I'll tell the story. I got all these people saying, Jen said she was going to tell the story about how she got kicked out of a comedy club. I will tell the story. Next week.